This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
And this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel. You can text us on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, email the show via the Absolute Radio website, if you will.
You know when people say about mince pies, I wish we could just eat them all year round. Why? But they're in the shops, aren't they? Some people do eat them all year round, but nobody says, why don't we play that song that you just played in
Do you know,
March?
Al?
No.
Al, apologies for the forthcoming buzzkill,
All right.
but I loathe a mince pie.
Oh.
I have to say, I don't loathe them, but I've never said, why don't we eat them the whole year round?
I do. I would like them.
Turkey, I always say, you know what, I'm going to start having turkey on a regular basis.
I do that too.
It's quite Christmassy. I got the Christmas jumper memo. I have a pink jumper with Jingle Bella. Charlie, the producer's, got one. Sarah hasn't, and Frank had a go at her.
I wouldn't say I had a go.
No, I wouldn't say I had a go.
I would.
No.
You suggested she was lying when
Well,
she
she
said
made up some story
Yeah.
about having one and spilling coffee on it, which is, you know, that's like the dog ran off with my homework,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely. But if you do eat turkey all the year round, it must have been like, when I used to drink heavily all the time, at Christmas I used to get absolutely gutted that people, you know, were at the
Did
bar
you?
getting in my way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Part-timers clogging the bar. Imagine if imagine the person who has Christmas, has some turkey every month, turning up in December and saying, well, what do you mean sold out? I always get my turkey this time of the month. It's tough. Anyway, it is the season to be jolly.
Yeah.
Let us not forget that. Although I've just finished recording a series of in my TV. You know, I still have something of the vague slivers of a TV career.
Oh, don't put it like that. Don't put yourself down.
If I want to be put down, I shall go to a Swiss clinic and do it properly.
Happy Christmas.
We had Nigel Havers. He put or attempted. I won't say whether he got in or not. Christmas into Room 101.
Oh.
Did he? What an old Grinch.
Bar humbug.
Havers gonna hate.
Lovely.
That's what I always think. So it's. I kind of like it, I must admit. Can I ask you, if I was going to get something in the New Year's honours list, would I know by now? Would I have been tipped off?
But you're asking us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're on the panel, aren't we? I forgot.
You don't just find out, though, do you? You're tipped off. You must be
you
tipped
would have
off.
you
known.
must be
Frank,
tipped
you would
off,
know
yeah.
by now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I've had friends who've had honours, and they've been forewarned.
You've got very high expectations.
Well, what were you expecting?
I
You
don't
never
mean to be
know.
rude.
Well, no, you do know, darling.
Well, they might.
You're not
Yeah.
getting the honours.
They might, occasionally, I think, they might give them sarcastically.
Do you think so?
I mean,
That's my chance, I think.
Genuinely, do you think you'd get... You should be OBE, you should get,
If I live long enough, I'll have to start, eventually have to start doing a bit of charity stuff. If I want an honour.
You don't shout enough
I've
about
held
it.
back long enough on the charity stuff, and I've realised that's how you buy your honour.
To be honest, when you say, you know,
charity for questions.
if you live long enough, you should just be delighted as a celebrity to get out of 2016. It's been a cull this year,
Hold on.
hasn't it?
Hold on. Oh God, that's gonna be repeated on the news as a soundbite.
I'm going to feel bad about that.
Oh dear.
Ironically, his co-host, Alan Cockerel.
Yeah, I've got 5 hours on the motorway today. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness! Merry Christmas, everyone.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So I've had my first gifts this week.
Oh.
Gifts.
You know, Christmas gifts.
No,
I
not
thought you
gifts,
meant
GIF.
My first... Oh, no, not gifts.
Because I've had my first gifts this week.
Is a gift like a moving...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't had any gifts this week.
Well, there is a gif of you.
Is it a gif of me?
Yes.
Am I dancing in my pants?
Yes.
Oh.
I remember somebody... when I recorded that, the head of BBC One said to me after, do you work out? Right. I mean, I'm skeletal. But anyway... yes, I danced in my pants, get over it. Now, I've had someone...
What were your gifts, then?
I had... I've had 3 gifts so far. Tea bags, a mug and a kettle. I think there's a theme.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, were these given to you? Are those all individual then? Not all at once. Those presents.
The tea bags and the mug, they were in the same cluster of gifts.
Okay.
From the same donator, as
From the same donation
Gift
of
giver.
gifts. The kettle, I have to say, was from one of my East European staff. Which is very kind of her.
So this is right geographically, is it?
Well, it's Eastern Europe. And she got me, I tell you what's amazing, she got me a see-through electric kettle.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, you've got to keep those tidy, though, Frank.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing, I think,
Because you've got to regularly descale it.
Yeah, you see, my partner will not allow any sort of chemical contact with the kettle. So the kettle gets so heavy on lime scale that basically you can maybe boil a half a cup of tea in it, because it's just got it's an inner crust.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've tried that when I've been round. It is a bit copper soup.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So the see-through, I got to tell you, I love watching it boil.
Oh, yeah.
You know they
I
say,
love
watch
it.
kettle never boils. Good.
Yeah.
Let's prolong me. And it's honestly, it's quite thrilling to watch it. The slow,
How lovely.
little bit of movement in the water, then some bobbling, and then we're off. I would say I've got more excitement out of that. It's the same excitement I used to get from a see-through negligee. I'm getting through a see-through kettle nowadays.
It's how you've travelled through life.
It's really... And there's like a blue light that comes on, which makes the water look blue.
Oh, Frank,
sort
it
of-
sounds absolutely fantastic.
You know, like a classic, you know, light entertainment shows. They have that
Yeah.
blue light,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like that. It's like watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but in water form, if you can imagine that.
With lower production value.
It's slightly lower production. But honestly, I mean, the novelty will wear off, I dare say. But at the moment, I'm having cups of tea I don't really want,
Oh.
just so
I
I can watch
really
the
would
kettle
just
boil.
to use it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's lovely for a facial as well.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, for the steam, you mean?
Yeah, I do it sometimes. I wonder if any other ladies
Hang
out
on.
there do that. Is when I empty the dishwasher, put my head into the dishwasher for a quick facial. Anyone else? Yes, Sarah does it on the show.
I find that smell. I don't know what that smell is that comes off a dishwasher. I suppose it's the cleaning stuff.
Yes, I love it.
I don't want that in my lungs. I thank all.
Okay.
No.
Congratulations, well done on the kettle. I'm so pleased for you.
No, it was. I'm really, really pleased. It seemed like when I first got it, I thought it was a practical present, but the see-through nature. My mum, I remember, used to dream. She used to say if she could have anything, she'd love a see-through teapot. So you could watch the pot.
Yeah.
You could work out at what point the tea was drinkable and reach the right strength.
See, in a different generation, she'd have been on Dragon's Den with that, and the rest would have been history.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say we had smaller dreams in those days. Now people want bare minimum 2 TV series. That's what they want.
Do you,
See-through teapot.
You normally get a turkey at this time of year, don't you? As a gift?
What, receive one?
Yeah, I thought you got that before. You asked for a turkey before from various productions you've worked
No,
for.
yeah, I usually get a meat voucher. I didn't get a meat voucher this
Oh, okay.
year.
Okay. Oh, shame.
Yeah. Still, I mean, there's still time, I suppose, if anyone's listening, thinking, what are we going to... Oh. Make a nice change from those bottles of champagne they send to taunt me every year. I just go and sit on waste ground with them, just like to really push it to the old days. I'm going to press the button in a minute, but
Okay.
I had an out, and then I...
Oh, did I ruin it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
But I feel I'm trapped in this...
Do you want to tease?
Listen, Frank, I'll tell you what we can go out on. What about a descaling tip? Come on Absolute Radio.
I don't know any. Vinegar.
Well,
Oh,
I've heard.
673 knows one. Boil a sliced lemon in your kettle. Great natural descaler. That's Andrew from Watford.
But does everything taste of lemon forever after that?
I don't think so.
Hey, 12:15.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
We've had a lot of kettle suggestions in.
Kettle suggestions.
Yeah, well, you've been talking
for
about
cleaning
kettles.
them, you mean?
Yeah. A lot of people suggesting vinegar, aren't they, Al?
Yeah, you know what? We've tried that, but
I tried the vinegar.
What about Jeff?
I find pardon?
Frank & Co. A small metal mesh ball or cylinder from the hardware shop left in the kettle attracts the limescale and is then rinsed off.
I'll try it. But I mean, the thing is, now that I can see it emerging, I can get it early, and that's what it's all about with limescale.
Is it?
Yeah.
And how will you get it early? Will you just sort of rinse it out? And
I'll use
toothbrush.
a J-cloth.
An old toothbrush? How are you going to get
elbow grease, that's what I'll use.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
So the mug I've got is a list of the actors who have played Doctor Who.
That's a great present for you.
But
For you. That's what that was meant. I want you to know that was what she meant there.
what for you?
For you, not for her. Not a great present general, like a catch-all.
No, I see. You think the emphasis was on for you?
I'm afraid I think it was.
Do you think it was in her mind? Do you think it was a for and a letter U?
When you say in her mind, I am here and I can exclusively reveal that the Cockerel is correct.
Yes, okay. Well, but it doesn't include...
And unusually you have property.
It doesn't include John Hurt.
Why? Oh, because he was on a radio play.
No, because he's a war doctor, but he doesn't get a number, but he's still a doctor. I find it every time
I think they know what they're doing, Frank.
Well, you say that.
Well, I do say that.
He's a proper doctor. He's bona fide.
What about Paul McGann? Does he count as a doctor?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Unquestionably.
Calm down.
I just say, if John Hurt saw that mug, I don't think he'd be that. Imagine if John Hurt phoning his agent saying, what's going on? I'm not on the mug. Yeah, sorry about that, John. What do you think I pay you for? I think he'd be furious.
He's fine. He doesn't mind.
Well, I wouldn't. If he came round our house, that would be stay in the cupboard. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
Because he might. I think he said. I saw him the other day. He said he might come round to have a look at the kettle.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He says, "Let me know next time you're boiling."
There will be people listening that think that's what show business is like. You and John Hurt showing each other stuff.
That was too. And remember, everyone, a dog is not just for Christmas.
No,
it's for. Well, what do you say?
It's for New Year as well.
It's about 10 years. You get 10 years out of one?
15, I think.
Sometimes if you're lucky.
Depends on what breed, I suppose.
How old is your dog?
I think she's 6.
Okay. Oh, you got ages with that one.
Yeah.
Well, we had an 18-year-old dog.
Yeah.
But, deaf, grey. When they get deaf, they're very good for surprising. One of the great joys of pets is surprising them from behind, as it were. So he'd sit on the step, watching at birds and things like that. And
is this Shep or Cal?
This is Shep, and I used to walk up behind him. He'd gone deaf by then, so I could just grab him like that without him picking up on a thing. It was great. Feel his little heart going like that. They love it. They love it.
I always feel rather sorry for Cal, always the bridesmaid.
It is. It's true.
I mean, Shep was the star of that family.
If I had a dog now, you know what I'd call it, though?
What?
Gnarls Barkley. It's got everything, hasn't it? Because they do gnarl. They
that
gnarl.
Is a good name for a dog.
When they gnarl, they do it quite barkly because they've always got a bit of bark in their voice.
That's a good title.
Can I say great use of the phrase? They do it quite barkly.
Yeah. So when they gnarl, they do it barkly.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you know what? It's almost worth having a dog.
One of your finest ideas.
Because I think you would.
Maybe I'll get one just for Christmas.
You specifically.
In the face
Please, people, don't do that.
No, I'm joking.
You would enjoy retelling the thought process that went into you naming the. You don't get fed up of your own jokes, do you? That's
never.
what I'm saying.
Never. No, I would be aching for that moment in the park where someone say, "What's he called?"
It'd be the most walked dog in the postcode.
And then you'll say, "Have you got a table nearby?" Because Frank needs to bang it while he laughs at his own joke.
Well, if they said to me, what's it called? I'd say, let's just sit on that bench and I'll tell you. Settle yourself down.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I was speaking of another of my East European staff was telling me that.
We should explain to anybody that doesn't know that Frank runs a small building company as well, just on the side.
She was saying, on the tea as a gift, which seems to be this year's thing, it was the Furby.
Right?
It was a Furby one year, now it's tea.
Yeah. That
she got some pregnancy tea for a friend who's pregnant. Oh. I didn't know there was such a thing as pregnancy tea.
I didn't.
And I said, she said, I said, have you got any pregnancy tea? And I said, did they say one lump or two?
How did that go down?
Nothing.
Really?
Tough crowd.
Nothing at all. Which is always frustrating.
Did you repeat it? I hate it when you do that.
I think I did.
You bully them into laughing.
No, she didn't. She wouldn't have it.
Really?
They won't be pushed.
Respect.
When I say they won't be pushed, I don't mean one lump or two. I mean people who don't laugh at a joke. Yeah, I must have told you when I went out with a woman who lived in a place called Bath Court, which was, I'm sure is very nice now, but at the time was a bit a slightly scary block of flats sort of place. And I said to her, what puts me off Bath Court is the people who live there spend rather more time in the latter than they do in the former.
That's very fine work.
And she said, where's the latter? Assuming that was the local pub of some
Oh,
kind.
she didn't.
Now, look, we're all God's children, and I don't condemn her. I'm sure there are social circumstances, but I realise that we could never be.
It's moments like that, isn't it?
It's the flash frame moment.
Yeah.
When you're with someone, you think, lovely, lovely eyes, and then they say something like that, and you think, oh, maybe not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm sure they say the same thing about me when I say I've got a mug with the names of all the Doctor Who actors except John Hurt on. They think maybe it's time to move on.
I got my wife a mug with
My wife!
with
My wife.
French on it in the summer. She was learning French, and it's
filthy
just got
creep.
some French vocabulary.
Trying
on
to
it.
seduce her with
That's
the
a
French.
good idea.
Isn't it?
I think learn from your mug is a good idea. I had a mug, I still have it, with ukulele chord shapes on it.
Nice.
So you're having
That's a good idea.
You're having a cup of tea and you think, oh, you're -7. I don't use that enough.
Also, I wonder if the heat will make it memorable.
Oh, maybe.
The searing heat will imprint it on your brain more.
Maybe. You know, we've probably inadvertently started a texting about what educational style mugs do you have in your
Well,
home?
in fact, I have got a periodic table mug from the Science Museum,
Do
and I
you?
do know my periodic table
Do you
quite
really?
well.
That is good.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I went to the ABFC's place the other night.
Did you?
Yeah.
You should say for new readers.
For new reasons, the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Who was Frank's neighbour for many years.
Yeah. Who's
And that was a sitcom that never happened, and I would have loved that for one.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been a bit like, oh, it's Tim. Yeah, it would have been like, never mind the quality, feel the width, which was about two tailors, a Jewish one and a Catholic one. I always said me and David Baddiel should have made it as a sitcom.
That would
Yes.
be fun.
He just looked at me when I suggested it.
May I ask a question? You're friends with the Archbishop of Canterbury.
I think, you know what, I think I can officially say that is correct.
Isn't that great?
Are you friends with the individual man? And when a new Archbishop of Canterbury is
Yes.
appointed, you'll still stay friends with that man?
Good question,
Or is it
Al.
like part of his role to be friends with you?
Would Rowan
You
I
Williams...
see.
Does Rowan Williams still get a Christmas card?
I see. So that, like when the Brigadier
Yes.
met the Doctor, played by John Pertwee,
Let the doctor
Always
see the
comes back to the
Brigadier.
doctor.
Take me out.
he'd first met him with Pat Troughton, and so he
Thank
was,
you for
they were
getting that,
still
Charlie.
they were still friends.
Imagine
no.
if someone said that on Take Me Out, Frank. Would you respect them more?
If they said what?
Let the doctor see the Brigadier.
I'd respect them more than #orcs.
Is it still on that show?
Oh, that'll be on forever.
Oh, will it?
Oh, God, yeah.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Yeah, so I was doing a reading at the ABFC's Carol service.
Oh, well, this is puts a different spin on it.
Does it?
Well, you're talent, aren't you? I mean, don't take this the wrong way,
No.
but you're having to sing for your supper, love.
Well,
Come on.
I was already invited, and then this was an additional bit. But I don't mind singing for my... Well, I had to read for my supper out loud.
They're getting their halfpenny's worth.
I was happy to do it. I got Matthew 2. This time it's personal.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew 2.0.
And Matthew 2 is the three wise men.
Oh, I thought it was Bono in The Edge.
And I like I quite liked it. It's a good story, the three wise men. I was happy with that.
So do you rehearse it a lot, like in the mirror?
No, well, I read it. No, not in the mirror. I read it a couple of times out loud. But To be honest, because it's not a Catholic event, I'm a bit less nervous.
Right.
If I was doing it for Cardinal Nichols, I'd be thinking, if I get this wrong, there's a possible excommunication, or is always there hanging over you.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were doing it for at Pontifex. I don't think you could get through it with the nerves.
Yeah, exactly. And also, my Spanish is not great.
How's your Latin? Is it all right?
It's got bits, but it's got a bit of everything. It's got astrology and deceit. There's a treasure chest in it. It's a great story.
Did you get any laughs?
I didn't get any laughs, but a couple of people said to me, "Oh, that was very nicely read," except my partner, who I said, "What did you think of the..." She said, "Too loud." Which is... Anyone who listens to the show regularly will know this is a regular theme. I was told off for clapping too loudly next to her at the circus. So, I mean, it really is becoming... We are becoming George and Mildred. Oh, man. I was talking last week on the show. She doesn't always listen to the show. She listens to bits. It's hard with a child, fair enough.
Of course.
I was talking about the fact that I'd tried my first ever scented candle, having been given 50 and then basically re-gifted them. I actually ignited one in my in the privacy of my rooms.
I'm still loving your use of ignited.
And it was all right. It was actually all right. And Kath heard that bit on the radio, and she said, "Did you light a scented candle in your room?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "It'll kill you." Is that true?
I don't think so.
It's obviously set me slightly on edge.
She's obviously worried because it's 2016 and you're a celebrity. It's that. It's just everything's a hazard this year.
That's what it is.
Oh, God, don't say that. Perhaps something terrible's going to happen. Oh, anyway. That's it. Put a smile on everyone's face. That's our job.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel.
You can text the show on 81250.
Thank you.
You can
what about the thank you,
Twitter on at Frank on the Radio.
Yeah, very
Also
good.
correct.
And you can email
And what about
the
emails?
show.
Do we still do those ones?
Yeah.
Still do emails. And,
Through the Absolute Radio website.
Oh, yeah. Well
and
done,
I think
Frank.
he might have cleared his mouth and he may be able to take the reins back now.
Yes, I'm
Happy to help.
I'm back. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for helping me out, guys.
It's okay.
I just
heckled. Alan helped.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
That's the system.
You can have a nice sip of your ginger beer now. You like that, don't you?
Oh, ginger beer and nuts, truly.
God, it's like a picnic for you, this, rather than a work.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's like a picnic in about 1978. Ginger beer, nuts.
Both Christmassy, I think you
I know,
agree.
people have sushi now, darling.
Not at Christmas, do they?
Oh, I do. I tell you, you were saying you feel about people drinking alcohol.
No. That's what Laurie McMenemy said after Gaza once swore on camera to all the Norwegian people. Oh, no.
You were talking about how when people over imbibe at Christmas, it makes you feel somewhat resentful as someone who's
well, I don't mind them drinking as long as they weren't in the way of the bar. Yeah, just generally.
You meant when you were drinking, it just made you feel they were a bit Johnny-come-lately. I feel that a bit about smoked salmon.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm aware this isn't doing much for my woman of the people reputation.
No, such as it is.
Yes, exactly. I do enjoy it throughout the year. It's my small indulgence, and I love it. Come Christmas, I can't get hold of it. And there's any smoked salmon dealers out there, give me a call. I'll pay top rate.
Yeah, I do think of it as a Christmas thing.
Oh, it very much is now.
People do. Yeah.
Another swig of the old ginger beer there. Frank,
But he's not.
Christmas wouldn't be Christmas, Al, without a little mention of Kim Jong-un.
Oh,
Friend of the show.
Kim Jong Merrily on hard.
He's not quite a friend of the show, but he's still got everything to play for.
I think he is. I mean, he's not. He's one of those unpleasant friends that's quite good to know. I think it's always good to know somebody really hard. Like it's like that, isn't it?
It's
Kim
like
Jong-un.
my boxing coach.
Is it?
I'm quite glad he's in my life. Let's leave it like that.
Yeah.
Cajun. We could call him Cajun.
Yeah.
That's his nickname.
KJ. Cajun.
Like Cajun. Yeah.
He's got himself into a little bit of trouble.
He's not that like Frank Spencer overall, though, is he? But
No, this is true.
go on then.
Who did he fall out with, Al?
His staff, didn't he? He sort of he ordered all of his,
Military elders, I believe they were called.
all of his military people to stay up all night. What, didn't they have to write him a letter?
He was furious with them. I'm quite obsessed by this story because, as you know, I'm obsessed by Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Oh, dresses in black now all the time as well.
With the Nehru collar. Is he wear the Nehru collar? Does he favour, I
Well,
believe?
sometimes, but he loves the black outfit. He's got. I like the idea that he sings "Man in Black" by Johnny Cash.
He was staying
Can't do
at,
the voice apparently.
Oh, that's a
he
shame.
was staying at his villa,
Oh yeah.
and I think this might have been sort of September, October, but news, you have to bear with us because news takes a while to filter out of there.
That's right.
And he shouted at the military elders.
He was a little drunk. He
was a little drunk.
Allegedly, let's say that.
He said that none of you were able to produce not even one military satellite is a misconduct that is commensurate to treason.
Is that what he said?
Yes, I believe so. Don't quote
Okay.
me on that, though.
No.
And then he made them stay up all night, and did they have to write a letter of apology?
I think they wrote a letter to him.
They had a choice, didn't they? They had to write either a letter of apology or a list of their weaknesses. Who says there's no choice in North Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously
What would you
he's not
go
as strict
for?
as he used to be.
Would you go for weaknesses, and what would those weaknesses be?
I'd go for a list of weaknesses. I consider that would be a good thing if we all did that. It'd be quite a healthy thing.
I wouldn't hand that in to him, though.
No,
I'd rather
he
give him a
might
letter
use-
of apology.
He might use it against you.
Oh, I've got a really sore Achilles heel. What's getting kicked next? I wonder.
Exactly.
Imagine if Frank made us do that, Al.
Also, if one of your weaknesses was thinking he was an idiot. Even if you said, I wrongly think that the honourable leader is a idiot, that'd be a bad thing. Don't hand that in.
No.
Yeah.
He'll just say, look, I'm not... Don't hand that in, that's my advice. I'll be fine, be fine. No, honestly, don't hand that in.
I wonder how many crossings out were on these lists.
Yeah.
Just like,
Well,
I can't-
He's
burst
probably
in-
got experts working on the crossings
Yeah.
out as we
Yeah.
speak.
They burst into tears of relief because they thought they were going to be purged.
Yeah.
And he then woke up the next morning and he had amnesia. It all went a bit Central Reservation.
He completely forgot.
He couldn't remember. So he apparently said, "Why are you gathered here? Be careful about your health because you are all old."
Yeah.
That's what that producer says to us every week, Frank.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they began crying.
It's a lovely scene.
It said the military men began crying, a reaction which pleased Kim, according to onlookers.
Well, there's a lot of presumption going on here. We don't know whether Kim was pleased or not. Let's not put words in Kim's mouth. But I'm liking the fact that he's living He's living high on the hog since he's got this job.
Yeah.
They said at one meal he claims he had 10 bottles of wine.
Of Bordeaux.
Fantastic.
I think he came across the old traditional Western song 10 Green Bottles and mistook it for a recipe.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
We're in North Korea.
Yeah, we've been talking about Kim Jong-un. And the, so what's happened is the military elders, they've woke up, they've written the apology letters.
They've looked up.
They've looked up.
They've seen Kim Jong-un. They've hit the ball.
Yeah. They've been spared the purge. But Kim Jong-un was baffled as to why they're there, because he's forgot.
We've had mornings like that, let's face it.
Yeah. What are you doing here? Great.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, this boastful thing, which I quite like, because it is a bit like the rappers with Kim Jong. Apparently this is something of a cultural tradition. His father was like this as well. Would tell... I mean, you know, I'm sorry, Kim. I do respect you, and obviously, you know...
Do you?
Well, there's... Well, you know...
as a friend of the show.
Yeah, as a friend
Yeah.
of the show. But I'm not entirely convinced some of these boasts are true. I mean, he
not?
said he could drive a car
Take that back.
age 3.
Yes. Well, he could. If he could, if he wanted to. Who'd actually stop him?
Yeah.
But you don't want to catch his eye if you see him out in the car. Don't, I'll give you a lift. You're all right. Get in.
I mean, I dare say he's not the kind of character at 3 to worry about the paperwork. He wouldn't have been sat there going, but I haven't even got my provisional yet.
He could drive anywhere he liked.
Yeah.
His dad was the exalted ruler.
Yeah, exactly.
Kim Jong-il.
Well, he lied as well.
He probably had a go at it.
He said at 9 he won a very prestigious yacht race. And then he also said he scaled the 9,000-foot-high mountain wearing an overcoat and leather dress shoes.
Yeah, but it said...
I like the detail.
The way it was described, that he was... It said that he climbed... It said in the Daily Mail, he climbed a 9,000-foot mountain wearing only an overcoat and leather dress shoes, like Top Cat.
A strippogram.
That's a night out that went wrong, isn't it?
That's how he got his name, that someone stumbled across him and the wind blew his overcoat and they said, it's Kim Jong-un.
Why did he wear leather dress shoes to climb the mountain?
Well, I think he's coming back from a party.
Yeah, walk of shame.
He got
Lost his way.
Walk of shame.
He got lost. Like that mate of mine who was walking back drunk from somewhere and he got dehydrated. He got lost and then very thirsty and had a panic that he was going to get dehydrated and die because he was quite drunk. And he started licking a car windscreen that had condensation on, and the alarm went off, and he had to run off. But there's a lot
You and
of
your
stuff.
Peter Ustinov anecdote.
There's a lot of stuff on a car windscreen you really don't want to be licking.
No.
A lot of insect
So in many
life.
ways, that climbing of Mount Pictou was Kim Jong-un's version of your central reservation.
Well, if
He
he
probably
did-
didn't know how he got there.
I like the idea that he did it. I really do that. As you say, it's like when Idi Amin was the undisputed heavyweight champion of Uganda.
Yeah.
I mean, there's undisputed and there's really undisputed. Don't dispute that, is my advice. So he's absolutely living the life.
What if it's all true though, and we in the West just mock? What if he is just one of those guys? He's a talent.
Well, he's just a sort of multi-talented, a renaissance man.
Yeah, if he's really, really brilliant, like Orson Welles or something.
I mean, it's unlikely, but
No, we don't know, because there's a lot. Obviously, he gets a lot of bad press over here.
he does.
Apparently, the father, Eel, he used to suggest that he'd invented the hamburger, I believe.
Did he?
I think that's correct, yes.
Wow.
And again, that was a strange boast. I mean, given that you can tell any lie you want.
But I like that. I like
That's
that
what you picked.
their boasts have got a bit of. They're not like about I met this bird in Seoul.
Yeah.
They're about inventing the hamburger.
I could drive a car when I was 3. That stuff. Brilliant.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. Kim Jong-il.
He wrote that song. That's
yeah,
what
he
he'll
wrote
tell
that.
people.
He wrote that.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that.
That'd be
I mean, you
another
could just lie
brilliant.
about anything if you were
It's
him.
another brilliant brag.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un claimed that he'd written "Sorry, Miss Jackson." As if he's ever said sorry in his entire life or anything. But the thing
Sorry
is,
seems to be the hardest word. He wrote that.
but if you,
I wouldn't like to see him doing a face-off with Elton with those tight suits, straining. Oh,
man. What about if one of the elders had said, "Liar, liar, 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 pants on"? Oh no, actually, I'm on fire.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
We were discussing not so Lil Kim.
yeah,
We call him that.
yeah.
Kim Jong.
And his I don't know. I don't want to call them lies
Bust.
because
Let's call them
I want
bursts.
to keep the lines of communication open with him.
Yeah. Let's call them bursts.
Boastful. Boastful.
I
for
think
that.
the trouble is when people get a reputation for lying, you don't believe anything they say, and I think there's probably a bit of truth amongst Kims here and there.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think he once wore some leather dress shoes.
Yeah.
I lied when I was younger, and I stopped doing it because it ended in tears, usually my own.
Oh, really?
And working with Frank Skinner helps.
Yeah, he's got an honesty policy.
Oh, honesty. And I told so many strange lies when I was younger. I said, I mean, pointless lies as well. I said I watched Life of Brian. and I hadn't.
Yeah,
And then I said I'd seen it, and everyone said, "How did you see it?" It's a double A. This was in the days with Frank. Remember the double A? You had to be 14. And I thought on my feet, Frank, and I said, my parents hired a projector.
Which, of course, is not out of the question.
And this was pre-vid, obviously. And I went into great detail about the lie. But the stress it caused me, the projector, and then I had to and then I thought, if those people ever meet my parents, I had to say to my parents, say that we hired a projector, and I sort, I had tried to include them in the lie.
Oh, dear.
Don't lie.
Well,
And don't say you've seen films if you haven't.
Well, that is a really tempting thing to do, though.
I think
How often
still
do you do
occasionally do that.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've done it on this show.
One of my problems now, as I've gone into the mist of middle age, is some films I'm not 100% whether I've seen them or not.
Right.
No, you are, Frank.
No,
I just
I've
want to
really
keep in
not.
with the people.
No, honestly, I look back and, it's been a long time ago since things like Total Recall,
Yeah.
ironically.
That's true. Do you know what? I couldn't actually tell you whether I'd seen that film.
Well, there you go. It's
They're
one
all
of
the
those
same.
films.
Also, with
Arnold Schwarzenegger with green lasers in his
Oh,
eyes.
I saw Rogue One yesterday.
Did you?
Absolutely brilliant.
Early? You're early to see that, aren't
What's
you?
that, Star Wars?
Yeah,
I think it is Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Star Wars.
It's fantastic.
Did you like it?
It's the longest I've been excited.
Oh, don't say
In-
it.
in- in-
Disgusting.
Well,
Disgusting.
I was
Keep it
excited
Keep
for
it
about
daytime.
2.5 hours. Yeah, really.
That's impressive, a man of your age.
I know. I was in. Honestly, it never. There's no
Boastful.
lapse. There's no lapses in it.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Oh, it's brilliant. Anyway, that's the reviews out of the way. I remember seeing that. I'm confident.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
I should hope so.
You remember it like it was yesterday.
I do, actually. I do. It was.
I tell you, sometimes if someone says, do you watch so-and-so, this is what you miss out on, fortunately, with the box set issue. Because obviously you eschew the box set, but the American box set.
Yeah.
Alan and I are box setters.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll stop watching something on the Netflix. I won't make it through to the end.
Yeah.
But if people say, do you watch that? Yes, I say. And then they'll say, oh, so did you get to the end of season 1? I might say yes. Occasionally. I know.
Well, the only American box set I've ever bought, I think, is The Sopranos.
Oh, I hated that.
I watched the first 7 episodes.
Worst
of
show
that.
ever made.
Yeah, I think after watching the first 7 episodes, I decided it was the worst show ever made.
So did I. I've told you, I've said on this show before, and I got probably about 420 abusive emails.
Oh, did you?
So
in that case,
bring
I take
on.
it back. It's not the worst show
No,
I've ever
I
made.
said they were a bit like, I just felt they were caricatured, and I felt it was a bit like the Dolmio family. I thought they were on that level of
I
subtlety.
don't think it was that good. I'd happily watch a box set. If they made a TV show of the Dolmio family, I'd be genuinely interested to watch it.
But we did discuss this out and said it was basically an old man watching a slightly older man eating pizza. Hey, Tony! Come on! What you doing?
No, yeah.
Oh.
But, some people like it, but some people like all sorts of stuff. I think if you watch 7 eps, is where you've given it a fair
Yeah.
crack of the whip. But I already bought the box. That's the trouble.
Did you like it, Al?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Oh, well, there you go. 2-1. I'm afraid they lose. So I've got a box set of if anyone wants it, just write in and you can have my Sopranos box set.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that.
You can do that, can't
Just
you?
do a competition for your possessions.
It's not a competition.
Oh.
You can just have it. I don't want it.
How are you going to divvy it out?
I don't
though?
want
First
it.
come, first served.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll pick the one that's the least postage.
I better have a look at the emails.
You can have it. I might even have I might have gone a bit crazy and bought two seasons in
Oh,
one
don't
go.
do that.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I've already done that, so they can have that.
Double box.
Yeah. It's yours. I don't want it in the house anymore. I've got coasters.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I mean, well done. You've lit up the switchboard, Frank,
Have I?
with your Sopranos DVD that you don't want giveaway, as I'm going to call it from now on.
My box set.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Skinner swap shop. That's what it is.
Oh,
Well, I've done
Well-
anything back.
there's
Okay.
been no offer of anything back.
What I
thus
get
far.
back is space.
Yeah. From in your tiny home that needs to
Exactly.
get rid of one DVD.
Exactly.
I lied about that as well once when I was younger. I said we had 18 bedrooms. Why did I say that? I would so easily get found out.
What about my mate at school that got a little sister called Tricia. And I hadn't got a little sister, but I felt a bit bad I hadn't got one. So I said, I've got a little sister as well. He said, what's her name? I said, Tricia. The worst lying of all time. Anyway.
I mean, how could you get out of that one?
I know, it's just, we accepted it, you know, it's...
Tricia.
He was naive. He'd be good in
He was
North
actually
Korea.
Steve naive.
Was he?
He was naive from the
Elvis
halfway
Costello.
line, I thought.
Yeah.
Please say what these people have been... So, basically, I can see at least 2 or 3 now, Frank.
Okay.
Well, the earliest one I've got is Dave saying, "Hi Frank, not sure if you're serious or not." Me neither. But I'll take you up on the offer of a free box set. Address is below, and it's Salisbury. So it's probably not very expensive to post.
No, I should think Absolute. Will Absolute cover it?
Have they got a franking machine?
You know what?
Is it a
I'll
franking
cover it.
machine?
I'll cover it.
Whoa!
Yes, I'll cover the postage.
Well, there you go. then.
There you go.
There you
It's
go,
sorted.
mate. I'll,
Flash Harry over there.
has he sent his? Has he sent? Is he just going to put this
Doing
on
all right.
eBay?
Put it that way. I'm doing all right.
There is his address, but I'm not going to read out the person's
don't read
address.
out his
That seems
address.
I'm
like-
going to cover the postage. I'll cover the cost of it. Frank, it's like when I let off a stink bomb at school.
Oh.
It was collective responsibility. Frank's donated the box set. I'm covering the postage.
So there might be 2. I
Sarah,
don't know.
you actually
Well,
posted.
there is a second one.
Alan, what's your contribution to this? Only put an assigned photo.
Support?
Okay, for
Verbal
Jason
No, I
support?
don't want
Yes,
no
my
sign photo. I don't want anything that makes it like what happens on a radio show.
Yeah.
That's
just-
true.
it's
I'm just trying to get him involved, Frank.
It's just a box set of The Sopranos.
There is
Possibly
a-
2
Yeah.
if I got another one.
It's like
There is
you're in
another contender here, though,
yeah.
Frank.
Oh, we've just had another one in 415.
Jeff has texted. Oh no, not even 415. About the same time as Dave texted.
I can't
Jeff
cope with them all.
texted, "Frank, no postage. I live near you. Give me The Sopranos."
Yeah, but I don't want to give them to someone who lives near me in case they see that as the ramp to friendship.
Well, I
Okay.
tell you what.
Bad luck, Jeff.
Cooper has thrown a right old spanner in the works.
Cooper?
I could take those Sopranos box sets off you at the Albion game tonight. Just think of the postage money saved.
Yeah, but I can't walk into the Albion with 2 Soprano box sets. What do they think I was trying to say?
Well, you walk in with Adrian Charles enough times.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
Oh, but we've got a possible game changer here. Frank, box set equals charity shop equals the start of your charity work.
Yeah, I mean, I was slightly like... I have done a bit of charity work in the past.
But you don't like to talk about it, mate.
No, I once took a scarf into Oxfam.
Oh, yeah.
Jim?
I think that Dave, I've sort of promised them to Dave now.
Okay. So, thanks to all the others we'll have some more in as well.
Yeah, when I'm looking for The Sopranos, if I see any other American box sets, I don't think I will, I'm going to be honest with you. But if I do, I mean, obviously I'm holding on to Bonanza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't count that. But, yes. Okay. Lovely, that's sorted
I'll
out.
sort it out with Sarah.
I'm seeing that as the beginning of my spring cleaning.
Lovely.
Yeah. Next week, the suits.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
People want your suits now. Frank.
No, I'm holding on. I'm holding on to the suits. That was horseplay.
Okay, well,
What's it?
Taxi Joe has just said, Frank, if you're clearing the suits out, can I have the blue one you wore on the London leg of one man in a suit? It was nice. So, you know what? There was a compliment in there.
Yeah.
I thought I'd pass it on.
No, I'm happy with that. By the way,
You wear it for the whole run, didn't you? I wouldn't want that one.
no, I think I intermingled.
I'd want one of the suits that was worn once on TV and then left. You
Look,
must have
that's
loads
it
of
with the
those.
suits. I'm keeping them. I've given away.
Tone of voice has all gone a bit Russell Grant when the scenery fell over.
I mean, if they had a long hem, I could get them taken down, and I could probably wear a suit of your size, couldn't I? But they wouldn't have a long
You
enough
two could
hem.
never swap clothes.
No, you're right.
You're
You did have some nice knitwear on.
I mean, if one of you committed a murder and there was some alibi thing going on and you needed to make a quick getaway, it's not going to work. I'm just flagging that up.
Okay.
If
Because
they,
you can't swap clothes.
if they made a life-size model of Alan, I could operate him from within. That's the difference in our size.
Even a hospital porter's gown, a very basic disguise, wouldn't work.
All right.
I think we could
okay, I'll
swap
take
one of
it back.
those.
Really?
Yeah, got a lot of leeway. I don't like the bare back on the hospital gown. Why do they do that?
Oh,
just get the-
I rather like that.
I don't like the knotted linen
Drafted.
thing against a bare back. I mean, you know, you're worried as it is without making you look ridiculous.
Yeah, true.
Still, I suppose they're saving on material. We've all done it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a whatever happened to texted in as well.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of people requesting your possessions.
Any good?
837 has texted, Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, whatever happened to toffee hammers?
Have I done that before?
Have you?
I think I have.
Well, this chap says, I've never owned one until recently when a friend bought me a bar of toffee with a hammer. I'm now in my 43rd year and that was the first time I'd ever used one.
I seem
The
to
wrong way
think-
round, though.
Why?
Because surely it should be a toffee hammer that he had in childhood and now they've gone.
Yes.
There are no more.
This should be a new thing. Where were they hiding?
yeah.
I'll give you a whatever happened to.
Whatever happened to...
Andrew's liver salts.
Yes.
Are you aware of those?
I was aware of those.
It was the first white powder to
Yeah.
really become popular in this country. And what I
saying
remember about it particularly, it used to come in a lovely jar with a very satisfactory lid on. I love a
I
satisfactory
remember
lid.
was it not dissimilar to a paint lid?
Yeah, but when it fitted, it was a real. It's beautiful. And I remember what it used to say on the side of the tin. It used to say 2 spoons in a glass of water for stomach and digestive problems. Fair enough. Or just 1 spoonful in a glass of water for a refreshing drink.
Oh.
And I thought there were very few medicines that you could have a bit less and suddenly it's fun.
I like that. I like the idea of penicillin as just a refresher.
Yeah,
If you just had...
exactly a shot of penicillin or
Yeah.
half a shot for a little bit of
Little
a
pick-me-up.
little bit of a tonic. Yeah, but it was. And I used to drink it like that. It was like, you know, have you ever had Badwa?
Yes.
It had that kind of slightly. Some of the mineral water, the sparkling
I don't
minerals,
like
are a
it
bit
too
salty.
minerally.
No, well, that was what you got from your Andrew's
I
liver
don't like
salts.
that.
No idea what it was, but can you still get them in their distinctive white tin?
Oh, bet.
I'd like to know if there's anyone out
I remember
there.
those because my grandmother had a lot of those. No offence, and along with Slimcia bread, which was the slimming bread, you may recall.
But if there's a pharmacist listening, I would love to know if you can still get Andrew's livers. If you can, this Christmas I am going to have some as a refreshing drink. I look forward to
Imagine if you ordered that in the Ivy or something.
that. Okay.
On the rocks, sir, or
You know
straight up?
these posh ones can get you anything. You can have Andrews, but as a refreshing drink, mind.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel. Text us. People do on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio or email the show via the Absolute Radio Webby.
Yeah.
Can I just say a couple of quick thank yous? I've had this morning from Caroline Wilson. You might remember Caroline. She sent in the idea of Polish name day cards.
Oh, excellent.
Well, she is also knits. And
She's got knits.
No, she's not got knits. Otherwise, she could have the
Knit
Rolls
nos.
Royce of knit combs,
Get the
which
knit
I
nos
bought
round.
a couple of weeks ago. She sent me a semi-cashmere scarf and hat, which would have been lovely, but it's for a teddy bear.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a West Brom scarf and hat for a teddy bear, which
Nice.
we have teddy bears in the house.
Sure
Thank
do.
you for that, Caroline. I shall customise one when I get the opportunity.
Excellent.
I'd also like to. I don't even know who this came from, but someone sent me a really fabulous book, which I'd recommend as a Christmas gift.
Yes.
It's called Looking Good: A Visual Guide to the Non's Habit.
Oh, yes, I know who that is. I'm going to get you. If you hold the line, please, Cora, I will...
I should say it's a collaboration between the theologian Veronica Bennett and the illustrator Ryan Todd. Now, you might think, oh, that's old-fashioned.
It's a lovely book.
But I'll tell you what it is. It shows you the different colours and styles of non's habits, but it's in a really groovy, modern design
It's
classic
fabulous.
book. So it's a beautiful... If you know any Catholics or people that just like weird stuff, I would get them this book.
I recommend
for
it.
Christmas.
Bringing habits back. Never mind sexy, Timberlake.
I might look into that. Sounds good.
Bringing habits back.
I was surprised. If someone had said to me there's a book about non's habits, I'd have thought, well, I'll like it, but it's not.
Right.
But it's groovy.
We'll put it
Not
on our
wide
little
access
website.
material.
No, it's a beautiful thing.
While we're doing a round of thank yous, I'd like to offer a big round of applause for the police.
It's all right. Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to thank me.
Big round of applause for the
come
police.
on, the
ladies and
police.
Now, we've had so much info on.
Was that a little Graham Norton impression? That was funny.
In that vicinity. We've had so much information through on Andrew's liver salts, Frank.
Oh, we
Is
sure
it
have.
still available?
721, Andrew's liver salts now in plastic containers.
Wow.
Lots of people reffing the plastic nature of them now.
That's a shame about that tin. But even
Yes.
so, I can still get it. If I need a refresh, I can have it as a refreshing drink over Christmas.
Well, yeah, 886 has said new plastic pot, still a good refreshing drink.
Well, they've then added question marks. I think they're saying, is it still a good refreshing drink? I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure it is. We've had a text saying that it's a good hangover cure.
Yeah.
From Celia in Halifax.
That's a lot of good to me, isn't it?
Please drink responsibly.
I found the best hangover cure was Pernod.
Did you?
Yeah.
Adam in Chingford has texted, "Morning, guys. Frank, you can still get Andrews because I'm delivering them right now. I'm a medical courier.
Up.
I'm a medical courier, so it does sound quite medicinal. And I have some in a bag right now. Want to trade it for a box set?"
Hold on a minute. So is he racing across town on a motorbike with Andrew's
I
liver
hope he's not
salts?
texting
Yes,
whilst on the bike.
Someone
I don't
who
think he
really, really needs a burp. So he's been...
Yeah.
Because it's not, you see when people carry blood, but I didn't think there was...
No. I've never seen
they're
the
also-
liver salts.
They're now called original Andrew salts.
Oh, okay. They've taken the liver out of
OAS. Yeah.
So they don't mention liver anymore.
No.
There's probably probably doesn't do anything for your liver, and so they've had to take that off.
Well, not just that. It's not very bringing sexy back, is it? Have you got them liver salts? Oh, Frank.
Well, we often
Come
we just call it Andrews. I could do with a glass of Andrews.
I'm so going to order that in the Ivy and see what happens.
Try it. But I'm worried that
Can I
some
have, Frank,
question
I'm going to
mark.
order it as a chaser.
But there's a question mark about it no longer being a refreshing drink.
I think there is, yeah.
Health and safety gone mad.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
353 has texted, "We used to add orange squash to Andrews because our parents wouldn't buy Fanta.
Oh.
Necessity is the
Rather
mother
depressing.
of invention."
Yeah, we used to have Nesquik, but in water sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Times were hard.
Well, do you remember the old soda stream? Did you
Oh,
have
yeah.
one of those? Yes, and we'd put Ribena in it because my parents wouldn't buy us all the stuff you were meant to have in it.
I spoke to a man from the Ray Harryhausen Appreciation Society the other night, and he was telling me that him and his brother, they used to come in like little containers, the stuff, the gel stuff that you mix with the water. They used to drink those like shots. Just drink them
really?
neat. Ooh. Like, what was the name of the gorilla who drank
Kombucha.
Kombucha, 5 litres of...
And then he went absolutely postal.
Exactly, and as anyone would.
Yeah.
Purple wee. That's the song I'd be playing for him.
Yeah.
If you're wondering where I met someone from the Ray Harryhausen, I went to the screening of the Doctor Who Christmas special the other night.
Did you?
Yes, very exciting.
And
How was that, darling?
It was lovely. I very much enjoyed the Christmas special, I must say.
What do they do for the special? Do they put sort of tinsel on the screwdriver or something? How do they make it?
That's basically it. Well, there's a bit of snow in it. Some years they have, Santa in it and stuff.
Because I've got a bit of a thing, Frank, which is I don't like it when they say Christmas special and there's nothing Christmassy about it.
Okay.
So do they have a party in the TARDIS?
Well, I can't say anything about it really. It's not as Christmassy as some of the Doctor Who Christmas specials.
It's not like the A-Team. They'd have a Christmas dinner, except B.A. Baracus would have a flute of milk because he didn't like alcohol.
Oh, he didn't like this and he didn't like
But he
that.
put the milk in the champagne glass and toast with the
Lovely.
milk.
Nice.
I like my milk in a carafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, I can't quite remember what a carafe is, but...
It's a sort of a...
is it like a little decanter thing for
Yes, it's a
sherry?
serving vessel for wine, I would say. But,
Lovely.
hey,
I'm thinking sherry. Yeah, it was good, and it means now I don't have to watch it on Christmas Day.
I was going to ask you that. Does it? Do you,
Well,
do
I'd
you watch it
like
again,
to,
just
but I find out anything I want to watch on the telly. Kath usually wants to watch something on the other side about somebody with a big cyst.
Oh.
Oh, she's quite an embarrassing bodies fan. No offence.
But she likes...
I hope you'll take that in the way it was
Frank,
meant.
some should be taken there.
Yes, I've picked that up and I've run with it. Yes, my partner is quite an embarrassing, but not as big a fan as I wish she was.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Now, as it's getting perilously close to Christmas time, that sounds negative, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm feeling very Christmassy, Frank.
Not long now.
But I get intrigued by a study near Christmas time, particularly one on board games. Because did you see there was a study on board games which was talking about people's concentration levels during board games and how you can potentially distract them and steal a victory.
Oh.
Now, you may not have known this, but did you know that specifically men, if you play AC/DC, I don't know why, it's specifically one track I believe called Thunderstruck.
Okay.
If you play this will distract a man. I don't know whether this is to do with multitasking. They tested it out on people playing the board game Operation.
We should say that this survey, it's about the effect that music has on
Yes.
concentration. Because you know,
Exactly.
some people when they study or work or whatever, they'd say, "Oh, I can't do it in silence." I'm doing this voice because it's usually stupid people. I can't do it in silence. I have to have some music on.
Is it a bit Wayne Rooney needing to leave the telly on all night?
It's a bit like
Does
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and the hairdryer sometimes.
The hairdryer's left.
Well,
on
he just
all that.
needs noise all the time. Gaza has the telly on
I
as
think you'll
well.
find the hairdryer's just left in a bin now.
Oh, no way to speak about Alex Ferguson. That's a very good joke, thank you.
Think
It was,
of-
yeah.
You think a
congratulations.
radio on FM or like on
Why do they need noise all the time?
Well, some people, you know, we're all different.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was a study. I think it's actually, it sounds extremely trivial, but it won a science.
Royal College of Music and Imperial College London.
It won an award for scientifically rigorous research,
Wow.
and it's something I've often wondered about because I can't really read or do any work with music on anymore.
Me neither.
But I used to be able to
Oh.
in my hip hop period.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hated that period.
I remember once my personal assistant came in to go through some letters and stuff, and she started to blush, and I realised that I'd got hardened to the amount of bad language and let's say vivid remarks that were on the hip hop.
There's a lot of hip-hop at the gymnasium that I attend, and I
yeah.
often find myself muttering, "Language, Timothy."
Yeah.
Often.
I think they should do that. You know, when you have to take swear words out of a song
Yeah.
on the radio, that's what they should use. A little thing that comes in and goes, "Language, Timothy." But what I was astonished to read this, the thing that stuck in my mind, aside from the board games, which we'll come back to, is that it says in operating theatres,
Yes.
they did a survey of this, that music is played 72% of the time in operating theatres. I find that astonishing.
Do you?
That would worry me a bit, I think.
Well, the results of this, given the light of in the light of these survey results, it worries me.
Let's hope it's not. I assume it's organ music.
Very good.
Thanks
They
very
play
much.
all sorts of surgeons. Very good, Frank.
And it says that people operate quicker if you play hip hop. Particularly, I imagine, if it's a hip hop.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. No, but they honestly said that if you play
Really?
hip hop, that they. I mean, do you want them to operate quicker? 8, 12, 15.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Semi-chocolate, Frank.
Oh, well, while we do that...
Because I can, because I work out.
What was your late Eureka moment earlier on where you actually
Band-Aid.
realised...
Oh, Band-Aid.
That's who it was.
That's ridiculous, though.
I know.
Well,
I'm a fool.
But I still
Don't
love
feel too
you.
much of a fool. Someone's emailed, at 38 years old, I realised this week that breakfast is break-fast. The shock.
Oh, okay.
I can imagine that feeling quite a big moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. See, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
So we're talking about operations this morning on Absolute Radio.
Ask her to
And,
make me a cambric shirt.
That's lovely, Frank.
Thanks.
You sing that beautifully.
Thanks very much.
So Richard from St Albans
Yeah.
says, when I had my hip-hop, I could hear loud opera echoing down the corridor
Hip opera?
to the anaesthetic room.
Oh, really?
I think there is a thing that classical music helps the concentration, don't they reckon?
This is fascinating. There's lots of people saying our daughter was born by C-section. Oasis were playing in the background, not in the room, I hope.
Yeah,
Those
not-
mischievous mob tops.
It's going to come straight out to secondary smoking.
Don't want that and the sunshine.
But the odd thing is, for all this operation stuff, the board game that they used to experiment was Operation.
Operation.
So
Yeah.
they've tied it all together.
Which,
Smart.
fascinating fact, because I can remember this, the original Operation, I wasn't around for that, I believe that was the 60s, in fairness, I wasn't born then, even I.
Was it that old, the
Yeah.
game? Okay.
And I'm obsessed by the board game Operation.
Are you?
Yes, I always have been. And the man who invented it got paid something like $50. And then they ended up, I think it's worth sort of millions now. It's worth a lot of money because it's
Yeah.
one of the best-selling board games. Anyway, the point is, the original Operation, on the cover of the board game, the surgeon was smoking in the operating theatre.
Glory days! Really? That's smashing.
And the ash was sort of going all over the patient.
So imagine that scalpel, forceps, ashtray. Didn't they wear a mask, though?
Yeah, they wore a mask.
You just pull it
But
down.
he had it pulled down. He had to-
Oh, okay.
Pull it down, have a fag.
This is a whole text in its own right. We've got a lot of people with music. I was being put under anaesthetic. They had Stairway to Heaven playing. A bit disconcerting.
No, that is a bit. I wouldn't like that at all.
631 has said, I worked as a motorcycle courier years ago.
A lot of those this morning.
Would listen to heavy metal, which I found made me ride quicker and filter more aggressively. So more deliveries.
Yeah, I think driving, the music can change.
Yeah.
I find if I play Quincy Jones Orchestra's theme from Ironside, I drive in a much more laid-back
Right.
fashion.
It does affect your driving.
I sometimes put a bit of classical on. They had
I love a show tune, Evita, the other day.
at lunch, I'd switch it off and listen to nature in the park. Motorcycle courier listening to nature in the park, helmet off,
What sort of nature?
presumably. Just
Oh,
the
God, a bit
sounds,
George
just the
Michael.
sounds of birds
Oh, I
and
thought
trees,
that was a band I hadn't heard of.
Oh
Nature
no,
in the
it's
Park.
small
It was-
N, not capital N.
It was a couple of guys from Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark.
Nature in the
Formed
park.
Nature
I
in the
know,
Park.
I know. It's serious, Frank.
Yeah. No, that's
Someone else had an operation for remove a growth from behind their ear the other day. I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear that, mate. Hope you're on the mend. As it was delayed, I opted for local anaesthetic. I walked into the operating theatre and was operated onto road rage by catatonia.
wow.
That's Adrian.
So it is. I thought this was a. I didn't know it happened at all, and it turns out it happens everywhere.
Commonplace.
Well, me no.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
Yeah.
We were talking about operations, not the real ones with people, and ones with. He's got a name, hasn't he? The operation person.
Yes, he's called Sam Cavity.
Sam Cafferty.
If I've got that right, I think I have. I do.
Okay.
That could be my specialist subject on Mastermind.
Was he a theatre cat at any point?
I don't know, but very good.
It's
And
based. I mean, it's
have
sorry.
you played it often? I mean, I played it so often. The wishbone was my particular speciality, and the breadbasket, but there were revisions over the years. But I love it, and I think the reason I love it is it involved tweezers, and I'm good with those.
Right.
I've had
you?
experience. I think women are better at operation, because I think we're better at multitasking.
Well, also they spend a lot of time using tweezers to take hairs off men's lapels and then put them under microscope. This is very delicate work.
This is true. This is also true.
I always felt it was a bit of a rip-off operation of those fairground...
Strange things you get upset about.
You know those fairground machines, it's hard to say this on the radio, but with the wibbly-wobbly wire, and then you have to go around it
and not touch it.
It was based on that.
And when you touch
when you say rip-off, we in the Operation fan community prefer homage.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, yes, okay, it's an homage.
I'm terrible at both of those games.
Have you played that game recently, the old fairground one?
Yeah.
Still really hard.
I think about a year ago I played that game, so it depends on recent, but a man of my years, I think that's recent, yeah.
But it's still hard. It's not like something as you get older you get better at it.
No. In fact, I would imagine there's a decline in ability.
I saw Abu Hamza playing it once. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
Didn't use the thing, just hooked it.
Someone had a procedure recently with Absolute Radio playing in the background.
Really? Yes. What about if someone's been operated on now, they can hear
ask what procedure they had. They had a vasectomy.
I feel this is more your area, so I'll let you say.
Long-time reader had vasectomy with Absolute Radio in the background. Oh, imagine that.
Well, I think we've all been slightly emasculated by Absolute Radio over the years. I hope it went well. We've got a name for that man?
No, but there's several vasectomy texts coming in now.
Lovely.
Who would have thought?
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I tell you what, my mother-in-law bought some tweezers.
My mother-in-law.
I said, can I smell? Anyway, she bought some tweezers.
Were they the proper? I mean, I like my tweezers to be so sharp.
No, she bought these are big tweezers, and you know what? She bought them for taking. Do you know when toast gets trapped in the toaster?
That's a tongue, isn't it? You're straying into Pete Tong area.
Maybe there's an element of tongue about it.
I mean,
but it does feel like operation when you get in the the toaster with the added little zhuzh of electrocution.
Yes,
which you don't really get with operation.
The reason for this, behind this survey, well, not the reason behind the survey, but the findings suggest that the reason men are unable to concentrate as well when they're listening to AC/DC is that they experience more auditory stress when listening to rock music, which is very bad news for Absolute Radio.
It is.
I mean, come on.
I mean, so many of our listeners have got hangovers. We don't want to give them any auditory stress.
No,
I don't want them to be sick over their Dunlop green flashes.
No, not when they've got a bit of Nickelback on.
Regardless of music, still my favourite distraction. Enjoy your ginger beer.
Drinking his ginger beer.
Still my favourite distraction is, look at that over there, while stealing a chip from a child. Oh man.
Oh, come on.
What a wonderful thing that is.
We've had a request. This is from James. As it's Christmas, can we have some more Aladdin from the Cockerel today, please? Merry Christmas, Love Reader 658.
This is the bit when Alan does mental arithmetic. I don't really want to end the year on that, do I?
I mean, it's a strange request.
It is a strange
God, we've been doing 8 times tables at home. Let's have a go.
No, stop it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
What's the name of that game when you have the yellow sticky on your head that I played with Elton John?
Clang! Is it called name dropping?
You have a yellow sticky with the name of a celebrity on.
Yes,
and
I know what you
don't
mean.
see it.
I don't know if it's got a name. I think I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Do You Know Who I Am?
Oh,
yeah, okay.
You reckon?
That's
I'm going to call it the game that Frank played with Elton John. That's what I'm going to call it.
I'm calling it Do You Know Who I Am?
The great thing, I think I would have been much better than I was in the villa in Nice, because
Who did Elton John have on his head?
He had, what's it? Bobby Crush.
You know what I mean?
Bobby Crush he had on his head.
That must have been a sight for sore eyes.
And I had Ian Cranky on my yellow stick. And you have to guess who you've got, because you can't read it yourself, obviously. But the distraction technique that Elton John used was being Elton John. It's really put me off the game. So I imagine he does quite well at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it, I think, for 2016 live.
Oh.
We've got 2 greatest hits shows coming up next week, which obviously are better than the normal shows.
Oh yeah, they don't have all that stuff about ballet links and
they don't have Aladdin.
Hey,
they're a quintessence.
Aladdin will be in there.
Leave Aladdin alone.
Yeah,
Aladdin.
So that's good news.
I feel such pressure. The last thing you say of the whole year. Live.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Pressure.
We'll be back. Anyway, look, thank you so much for listening, not just today, but for 2016. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens, Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.